December 9th, 1532, a 57-year-old Mexican man made his way to Mass in the early morning twilight of December 9th, 1532. He was a peasant, a simple farmer and laborer, and he had no education. Born under Aztec rule, he was a recent convert to Catholicism. The morning quiet was broken by strange music that he would later describe as the sound of birds chirping. Diverting his path to investigate the sound, Juan Diego, his Americanized name, came face to face with the radiant apparition of the Virgin Mary on Tepeyac Hill, the site of a former Aztec temple. His wife had died 2 years earlier, and he lived with his older uncle, scratching his living from the earth as a humble farmer. Why should this simple, uneducated man be chosen by Mary to carry a message to the bishop? Perhaps because she would find none other as humble as Juan Diego. Juan Diego was dazzled by the incredible beauty and miraculous nature of the appearance. She appeared as an Aztec princess to him, and she spoke to him in his native tongue. She instructed Juan Diego to visit the local bishop and ask that a shrine be built on the site where people could gather to worship and pray. Visibly shaken, Juan Diego approached the bishop, who was initially very skeptical of his account. What did this peasant really want? Did he merely seek attention, notoriety, money? Was he possessed by a demon? Had Juan Diego been tricked by the devil? The bishop still listened to Juan Diego's account patiently, but then dismissed him, asking him for a sign that what he saw was true. The humble Juan Diego felt he had failed. He began to doubt himself. He returned to Tepeyac Hill, where his hopes for some confirmation of what he experienced returned. Indeed, Mary did not disappoint, for she appeared again as radiant as before. Juan Diego told her what she already knows, that the bishop did not believe him. But she instructed him to return the next morning and ask again. This time the bishop was beside himself. Why did this peasant insist on telling his story? How could he know if the peasant was lying? Maybe he was insane. At their second meeting, the bishop asked for a sign. Juan Diego made a promise that he couldn't keep, saying he would return the very next morning with a sign from Our Lady. But that evening, Juan Diego returned home to find his uncle, who was 68 years old, terribly ill. The illness was known to the people there and brings a burning fever so hot it was almost always fatal. Juan Diego could not have left his uncle's bedside to keep his pledge to the bishop. He spent 2 days with his uncle trying to save him. When it became apparent his uncle was about to die, he left to find a priest who could prepare him for death. Frightened and saddened, Juan Diego set off in a great hurry. Time was running out, and he was afraid that his uncle would die without receiving a blessing. But on the road, on his way, Our Lady appeared for a third time. Upset and afraid, Juan Diego explained himself. The lady replied, "Am I not your mother? Are you not in the crossing of my arms?" she asked. Shamed by the admonition, but emboldened by her presence, Juan Diego asked for the sign he promised to the bishop. He knew it was wrong to doubt Our Lady. She instructed him to climb to the top of Tepeyac Hill, where he would find flowers. He was to pick flowers there, which were unlike any he had seen before, and he was to keep them hidden in his tilma until he reached the residence of the bishop. Juan Diego was skeptical again. It's December. What flowers could grow on the summit of the hill in this cold weather? Nevertheless, he obeyed, and atop the hill he found a great number of flowering roses, which he picked and hastily gathered into his cloak. For the third time, Juan Diego was ushered in to see the bishop. The skeptical cleric had waited for 2 days to see what sign the lady had given to Juan Diego. When Juan Diego opened his tilma, letting the roses cascade to the floor, the the bishop and he noticed something more than roses. They were astonished to see what was painted on his simple tilma, an exquisite image of Our Lady. In the image, she stands as she appeared, a native princess with high cheekbones. Her head is bowed, and her hands are folded in prayer before God. On her blue cloak, the stars are arranged in the morning darkness at the hour of her first apparition. The gold fringe on her cloak mirrored the surrounding countryside. Under her feet is a great crescent moon, a symbol of the old Aztec religion. The message was clear. She is more powerful than the Aztec gods, yet she herself is not a god. Most importantly, she has a sash or a girdle around her waist, indicating that she is pregnant. Our Lady of Guadalupe, she came to be known, did not appear again, for her mission was complete. The church was built and remains there today in what is now a suburb of Mexico City. Juan Diego's tilma, which was woven from cactus fibers with a shelf life of just 30 years at most, remains miraculously preserved. On October 12, 1945, Pope Pius XII decreed Our Lady of Guadalupe to be patroness of all the Americas. The miracle of the story of Our Lady of Guadalupe lies not so much in the fact that Juan Diego had an apparition of Mary. The true miracle came in the immediate years following the spread of his story. Nearly 9 million people who were practicing some form of their native Aztec religion were converted to Christianity, and devotion to Mary remains one of the most unifying aspects of the Mexican culture. The Basilica of Our Lady of Guadalupe is the third most visited site in Christianity. Nearly 5 million visitors go there annually, and miracles continue to be documented. Today we celebrate the intercession of the Blessed Virgin Mary at Tepeyac. She is the spiritual mother, not only of Mexico or the Americas, but of all God's children. She is the one who said yes when humanity was in need of a Savior. She opened her arms and her soul to the will of God and brought Christ